made it to St Bees. As you can see from the sign, it says Coast to Coast Walk. Start. This is where we're starting. Little tiny town. We just had some lunch in the. There's a little cafe on the seafront, just there. It's a small town, not much here. Hell of a railway journey to get here, though, I have to say. The start of the walk's here. You basically follow this path just up here, going up where and people are just traversing at the top there. First climb of the walk. You scoot around the coastland until you get to Whitehaven, and then you start heading inland. We had some dense cloud coming over, unfortunately, so you might get a bit of rain. There's a bit of rain forecast on and off. It's a lovely little place to visit, and as I said, the railway journey here was unbelievable. If you take the main line trains to Carlisle, then you take the train to here. It comes all, once it gets to the edge of the Cumbrian coast, you come all the way along. And that's the camera will pick it up, but you've got the Isle of Man there. As we get around the corner, you'll see there's the part of the Scottish Highlands, the Dumfries and Galloways. You saw that on the train. They had a real good view of it on the train on the way down. Hopefully we'll be able to see some more as we get around. Probably be able to see it once we get to the top of that hill. Lovely little caravan park there. Other than that, there's not much in the town. It's very, very small. But there's plenty of stuff around it, so if you do come on holiday here, it's quite a nice place to sort of explore. We're going to follow tradition. Tradition says that you dip your feet in the water. It's high tide. Pick up a pebble or two and take it to the other side of the country. This is the Irish Sea on this side. We're going to walk about 200 miles in that direction to the North Sea. There's a good place to start as any. Foot of the first hill, traverse the first little stream. It's the Irish Sea. I have to say, it's a beautiful sea. It's just so clear compared to our English Channel soup. Yeah, the boot's in the sea, Irish Sea. Next time it touches the sea, it'll be the North Sea. Going to pick up 3 pebbles. One for me, one for friends, one for family. Take them to the other side and we're going to throw them in. Let's pick up something decent. One. 2. This looks like a real nice place for beachcombing. There's a nice one there. 3. Alright, been here an hour, had to break out the waterproofs already. Just had a massive hailstorm come through. Bloody typical, to be honest, because the last couple of weeks the weather's been perfect. Oh well. The forecast for this area today said it was actually going to be cloudy but dry. As you can see, we've got some massive black clouds with rain underneath them coming through. Right pain in the ass. Hopefully it'll clear behind it. Who knows? I don't suppose you can visit the north of England without getting wet at some point. The top of the hill. Nice view down the cliffs. We'll get going. We're right along the cliffs now. You see the Isle of Man in the distance there, and the edge of the Scottish the Dumfries and Galloway Highlands. Little lighthouse in the distance there. We go up to there more or less and then turn off. Start heading inland. This bit here very much reminds me of the Seven Sisters in Sussex. Looks like we're sharing it with some cattle. Got to barge away through some cows. I've seen a few people on the path. Weather's not been great. We're in the lee of the wind now, so it doesn't feel too bad, but up on the top the wind was really strong. A fair old hailstorm come through. Not a great start, but we just have to take it. You go and mix it up with the natives. You ignore them and they tend to ignore you. Morning, cow. I think some of them have dropped a few because it's a bit smelly walking through there. They're used to people. Obviously the farmer herds them around by foot. They're probably all named. Calls them in the evening, they probably come running. That's a very pretty little cove. This is a dip between the first big hill, and there's another hill to climb on the other side. You can see the path snaking round and up. Some steps cutting up there as well to make it easier. And the lighthouse is just up the top there. We go round the back of the lighthouse and start springing going inwards. That's the train line, I believe, that we came in on. We're entering the Lake District properly now. See the lumps and bumps in the distance there. Some of them are starting to disappear because you've got clouds on top. Just about to make out the bay over there and the Scottish mountains behind it. That town there I think is Whitehaven. Maybe one of the ones, bigger ones behind it, I don't know. Got to go underneath the railway line. I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen so many sheep in anywhere in this part of the world. They're absolutely everywhere. Every field's got sheep in. A few cows here and there, but mostly sheep. They've all been lambing. A couple of months old by the looks of it. And some waiting for me on the other side of the gate. They're everywhere. Gone through another couple of villages, coming up to another one called Cleator. There's a lot of various signs and whatever on the way that refer to the coast to coast. It's quite well marked. There's a few places where it goes across the sheepfolds where it's a bit hazy. The GPS has come in handy because it's very the paths are not marked as such. There's a lot of mention of the Wainwright coast to coast. A little thing there called Wainwright's Passage next to a cricket club by the looks of it. Yeah, we're coming up to a village called Cleator. At the foothills of more or less at the foothills of the main hills now, as you can see in the forests up there. I think the tall one in the middle is called Dent. Tonight's camp's on the side of a hill in a woodland, right next to a little stream which I've used for a water supply. Not expected any rain tonight, just put the tarp up to keep the frost off because it gets very cold at night at the minute. It's a bit of a loose fit, but we're in a bit of a tight position, so it's not the best, but ground's nice and flat for the bivvy. Should get a decent night's sleep. Didn't get to the final destination today. Didn't really expect to, really, because it was as I mentioned earlier, it was 8 hours of travelling just to get here, and then all the walking was a bit much with the fatigue. Doesn't matter, we'll be able to catch up on tomorrow. We're not far away from the first point destination. The first point destination was Ennerdale Bridge, which is on the other side of Dent, and Dent is on the other side of this forest, so it's quite close, really. I think it's only about 3 miles away. No worries. Be early start tomorrow so I can play catch up. Sleep well tonight, hopefully. Get some rest. It's very tiring walking up the side of this hill. I'm going to get some food on, and I'll see you in the morning. Got to be a bit conservative with the batteries because I brought a solar charger, but apparently we're not going to have a massive amount of sun, so I've got to be conservative with the power. See you later. Morning. Had a lovely dawn chorus to wake up to this morning with the birds. It's one thing I do like about camping in the forest because of that. Got breakfast on the go, porridge and a coffee. Bedding's all packed. I've left the tarp up because the sky is very grey. Just in case we get a bit of rain. As I was saying, that's nice. It's getting nice and clear over there in the distance. I'll cook and eat this, then we'll come back when we're on top of another hill. This is the first of the real big hills. This one's called Dent. That forest there's the one I stayed in overnight. There's some bees there right in the distance. Still see the Irish Sea. I think once you get over the top of Dent, that's the last time you see the sea. That's the magnificence of the Lake District. No idea what the hills and bumps are. I suppose anyone who does this all the time and knows the area probably knows exactly what all of them ones are. I suspect that one there is Helvellyn because it seems to be the highest. Had a long way up compared to this one. We've got to now head down. I think we're tracking that direction into the valley, into a place called Ennerdale Water. It's only a few miles from here. There's a massive Irish Sea there. You can still just about make out the mountains of the Dumfries and Galloway in Scotland. Can't see Isle of Man today, visibility is not quite as good. reached the first of one of the big waters. This is Ennerdale water. I just had to take my feet up because they're getting a bit sore on the bottom. We're about 20 odd miles in now. We're going to walk to the end of this water, follow the northern path. Quite awkward apparently, but we'll follow it anyways. Get to the other side and have a spot of lunch. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning now. Stopped at the place called the Gather for a quick coffee and cake, which is quite nice, which is in a little village at Ennerdale, which is about 2.5 miles from here. As you can see from the sky, looks like we might have some weather moving in, unfortunately. Hopefully it's just cloud and not rain, but we'll see how it goes. We've got to follow this path around here on the... Apparently it's quite awkward. There's a few people walking around there already. We'll get to the other side, have a spot of lunch. Hopefully the weather stays dry. It might just be dark cloud rather than rain. We've got dark cloud above us at the moment and we're not getting wet, so hopefully that's how it'll stay. We'll get going. Just going past a point called Robin Hood Chair, which is ironic as we're going to Robin Hood's Bay. There's a bit of a scramble. It's not a normal walk. You have to sort of do a little bit of rock climbing as you go. Coming through that lot there. Going down there. I think that's the worst of it over there. Some of it there's no footpath at all. It's literally clambering through the rocks. It's alright, you just have to be careful. You won't want to fall because there's a hell of a drop. The rule of doing anything like that is just 3 points of contact. Use your hands and whatever at the same time. This is the River Liza. Not that far from Rossthwaite. Big hills and cliffs either side. Beautiful clear mountain river. Tonight's room with a view. This is the edge of Ennerdale Forest. Didn't get much further. I'm having real problems with my legs. So much so I'm going to have to cut the trip off, unfortunately. I'm going to have to head back to the start. Get back to the car. Put it down as a failed experiment, unfortunately. My legs are not capable of doing it anymore, I don't think.